Well, it looks like it's finally getting somewhere near done. It's at what, 1460 or 70 now? And we don't have any linker errors, so obviously those headers are set properly now. And how Unreal works is it uses this, uses a bunch of DLLs, at least when it's running in the editor. So it'll generate a whole bunch of headers that stitch everything together, and then set up the DLLs and everything else. And the problem is, if those headers that get generated don't match the DLLs that are built, you're going to have some massive problems and crashes and stuff like that, and that's what's going on. So it's really the incremental build coupled with Unreal generating the headers. Headers are wrong. I tried deleting the headers, but Unreal wasn't kind of busting its own little cache of those headers, and as a result all this was screwed to hell. Yeah, and of course our program is now working now because we did a full rebuild and we didn't have anything wrong with our code as I suspected. That's really damned annoying. Well, whatever. Alright, well, I will be right back. while I finished munching on that thing so I can get back to work. Alright, so let's make sure we got all our game mode stuff set up. And I guess that's just something I have to learn, is that as soon as we start running into incremental build errors with header files, you're pretty much screwed. And it's not something you usually run across very often unless you're doing a bunch of work with DLLs with multiple versions of things. Because most of the time, if your compiler works, your compiler works. But the compiler's not going to save you from mismatched headers with DLLs. It's just going to happily crash all over itself. Alright, so these things are adding everything by default. Yeah, and they're not rolling anything random at all. mean, is it called always in rotation? Alright. Yeah, we're having it so things were always in rotation when they shouldn't be. And I'm just making sure the custom game modes get concatenated with the default game modes for the playlist settings. Which it looks like they're getting concatenated, they're just looking like they're not initialized properly. Oh wow, Adam had what, 1,300 viewers this year? I mean, this weekend or something? It was quite busy in chat. I would imagine the levels of trolling would have gone through the roof. And I guess he was doing all the painting stuff, so what we'll want to do next time he's got that many people is we'll probably want to get an update out there and play the game. What is this? What is this crap? Peter, you can do this. Turn that thing off. Only a handful of trolls? Yeah. Come on, reclaim all the things. Yeah, so this got screwed up again when we did the regen. Amazing. I probably need to shut down Visual Studio. So we'll see, we just got the same error where our header files got completely blown to hell, causing us to have these runtime issues. Update is next week? I don't think so. I do not think the update is next week. Well, I mean, at the end of next week, yeah. So it's supposed to be the 17th or so. So it's not this weekend, but next weekend we're supposed to come out with our next update. Target is up to date. I really don't think it's up to date. Well, let's see if this thing explodes again with our RAM consumption. If it's just I need to shut down Visual Studio when I do a regen, that's one thing. Nope, looks like it's fucked up somewhere here. Great, that means I have to do a whole nother fucking rebuild? why all of a sudden would this be completely screwed? Like, is it that if you do one of these regions when Visual Studio is running, it gets into an undefined state? Yeah, it gets into an undefined state of some kind, and it's completely fucked. That's really just amazing. Well, let's see if I can clear the intermediate directory. No, it's not still broken, it's broken again. Like, it was fixed and now it is not fixed. And that has to do with regenerating the headers and CPP files. And I'm trying to see if there's a better way to clear the incremental build cache than rebuilding the entire goddamn project. Because it's the header files for the DLLs that are getting corrupted somehow, because they're just not getting set. And this is just really slow development. Like, this is pretty fucking ridiculous. Especially if it's still going to be screwed up after this. And it's just like, what the hell is this build system? Hello, Scorpion. I am attempting to work on the game mode stuff, but I am being plagued by stupid issues currently. Seems like anytime I change some of these things, it just blows up. And then I gotta wait for like a full build, and that just takes forever. Okay, so it looks like if I blow away the intermediate directory, I don't have to rebuild the entire frickin' universe. But there's definitely some stuff going on with the regenerate changing header files and the Unreal incremental build tool, the Unreal header tool, having some pretty nasty issues with that. Alright, well that at least appears to work. Did we get our events generated out? Yeah, those did get generated. So let me see, if we have the level actor, we can start getting some of this stuff set up. Alright, so we have a T-array of F-game mode votes. This will be voting data, or we'll just say current votes. We'll have our voting options. Alright, so we'll get our stuff working here. So we have to get our replicated variables set up. Alright, so we have the voting stuff, and we also need some RPCs. Alright, so this will be server, RPC, cast vote, and we're going to want the voting option for that, which is going to be I guess we need the player controller. Alright, so that's how that'll work. And we're also going to need some... Should we bind to... Yeah, we need to bind to the voting event. And that's going to take a game mode vote. Alright, so we also need the replication for these things. I think they need to be U functions. Well, let me think. The level actor will be run on the server. So we probably have to actually call server RPC cast vote from within the player controller. So man, this network stuff can get kind of screwy at times. It's like the player controller has to actually do the voting. So this is just going to be cast vote. So we actually have to change the Dashkin player controller. Yeah, well, let's see. Sorry I'm not talking a whole bunch, I'm just kind of upset about having to rebuild all the things all the time. Okay, so I need to change this to an N32. So I need to snag the UI events and bind our event listener. So binder event. And we'll go call the server and tell the server what we want to vote for. And the server is going to have to get the level actor and call that and tell it what to do. So we need to call cast vote, which is going to be option, and then we need to get our user ID. So that should cast the vote. See how that goes. What is this? Z-param uses undefined struct f game mode vote. Yeah, so we have to include our stuff. And we do not have a cast vote call here, which we need. Alright, so which is called first? Begin play or begin playing state? So what else can you expect from the update other than the training levels? Well, Swarp, we'll see actually about how the training levels kind of fall out. When Adam and I did a bunch of design stuff for the training levels, it kind of fell out that we don't really want 10 different small training levels. We really want like a lot more than that. Why is this getting all pissed at me? So, I'm not even sure that the update's going to contain the training levels, to be honest. I think it's probably going to contain the... It's going to contain the game option stuff that I'm working on, with the playlists and everything. And it might have like a simple training level, but I don't think it's going to have everything. Like, I think the next 2 updates are going to be the training levels. What is going on here? I mean, do rep lifetime is not defined? Oh, it most certainly is defined. So it's going to be that we need to include something that's not there. So is it like Unreal Network? Yeah, okay. So update 5 won't be Night Forest, it'll be Training 2.0. It depends. Like, there's a better chance that we get, like, I think the Night Forest will be there regardless. Just because I think that it's easier right now for us to make new levels than it is to make the training level area. Because what we want for the training level is a lot more than just... Alright, what the fuck? God. Function does not take 2 arguments. Alright, whatever. Why is this messed up? Okay, it's got to be add dynamic. Is that what it is? I always forget this. So the training level basically needs to be, it's not just 10 rooms, because when we're going over 10 rooms, it's just like, you know, this is, it's pretty much just a bad tutorial, and a lot of stuff there where it's like, okay, make one room, make another room, and it's assembly line stuff, and it's just like, all right, you know, this is it's a few training rooms and like rooms you can do stuff in, but it's really pretty not the best. Because you can't really do a whole hell of a lot after that. Like there's a series of small rooms. Okay, you know, what can you do with that? Not really a whole hell of a lot. Because there's no progression. You know, it's like once you roll through the levels, there's not really much else there. So, I mean, we could do a tutorial thing like that, but, you know, it's kind of turning into, as far as we saw, kind of a dead end in terms of, yeah, we could do it, but it's not very good, and you can't go any deeper than that. So we're thinking more that we'd have a single large, you know, like just a map with things in it that could be reused for lots and lots of different events. So, alright, so begin playing state is called, and then begin play is called.